Hello folks, welcome to episode 22 of GingerLion's modded Minecraft Let's Play. Last time we made ourselves a metal former, and we made ourselves a geothermal generator, and we got started towards our process of going nuclear, which is our plan. So I wanted to show you here toward the end of what I've done. I set up myself a precision import bus, which is importing out of metal former everything that I'm making. And I've just gone through the process of making all the things necessary for 2 more metal formers. Now, why would I want 2 more metal formers? That's because I'm about to connect them all to my ME network officially and teach it all the things necessary to run these tools. And metal formers can be set in 3 modes: rolling, cutting, extruding. And so, since the ME network cannot change the mode of these devices, it's going to need one set on each mode. So, let's go ahead and make ourselves this metal formers. We're going to need 6 of these. There's that. We're going to need 2 of these. There's those. We're just going to need ourselves 4 of these, which don't stack apparently. And we're going to need ourselves 2 of these, which is going to involve making 12 of these insulated copper cables. It sounds like there's a thunderstorm going on outside, which is fine by me. I'm not going to be going outside this night, so that should allow us to make 2 more metal formers, which I'm going to go ahead and place down right next to these. That'll draw on the geothermal generator. It'll charge these up. Now, I've got a precision import bus in my inventory. Let's go see if there are any more in here. Nope, but let's have it craft 1. Yeah, I might as well make 2 so there's some extras. And I'll get back here and place the first one. Now, the nice things about the ME network is, even though the industrial craft devices, especially the metal former, are not designed to actively export their completed products anywhere, ME is smart enough to know where the export point is and grab it anyway. So let's get that last export bus that I made, precision export bus. Good. And we're going to attach it to the last one of these. Now all 3 of them... Oh, did I do something wrong? I did. I wanted precision import buses, not this precision export bus. That's unfortunate. What do I have in terms of import buses? Ah, I do have an import bus. Perfect. Good. Import in stacks. Now, how am I going to connect these to the network and teach the ME network how to talk to them? Well, let's start by putting 1 in rolling, 1 in extruding, and 1 in cutting. And then I'm going to put an interface on top of each one of them. I have some cable already ready to do this job. So, I'm going to put these on top, and then I'm going to whack them with a wrench until they point downwards. So now each of these interfaces is set up to operate this device. And you'll notice it has these recipes in it, just like the recipes of our machine up above. So, let's go ahead and connect these to the network, and now that they're connected, let's go figure out what it is that we want each of these machines to do. So, the metal former can, let's see, this one is in rolling mode. So let's only look at the recipes for rolling. That's cutting. Here's rolling. So, lead, copper, iron, tin, gold. I don't think I'm going to prepare all of these. Let me see. How many can I prepare very easily? Looks like the exact same 9 that every standard inventory in in Minecraft operates on. So, now again, we are in rolling mode. Yes, we are in rolling mode. So let's go over here and look at rolling. I have used copper, iron, tin, and then lead makes a lot of sense to me. And it looks like that out of our 12 recipes, we have gold plate, which I probably do not need. We have gold item casing, which I probably do not need. So let me start with the iron, the copper, and the tin first, and we'll work from there. Now, I'm going to want some iron. And I'm probably going to need bronze as well. Copper. Tin. So, the first thing that we know that it knows how to do is take an ingot of each one of these and turn it into a plate. But it only makes one. And so I need to take one of them and use it up above to build the recipe. I'll show you what I mean in just a minute, once I've completed turning all of these. So now, I'm going to need 1 iron ingot, 1 copper ingot, and I got to put 2 more in there and 1 tin ingot. The rest of these can go in here. They're not necessary right now. There's 2 copper pressed through, and there's 2 tin. So now let me come over here, and I need an iron plate and 1 to run through this machine. Let's see what copper produce. Good. I need 2. 2. So now, if I push an iron plate through this machine, it'll make an iron casing. It'll actually make 2 iron casings. Let's see if I can grab them real quick. Yep, I can. Good. Do the same with copper. And finally, do the same with tin. Didn't get that one fast enough. But that's fine. So, now, we're going to go upstairs to where we had built the ME crafting system. And we're going to use this ME pattern encoder. What we're going to tell it is that 1 iron ingot equals 1 iron plate. We're going to tell it that 1 iron plate equals 2 iron casings. We're going to do the same thing with copper. And the same thing with tin. Oop, I don't want it like that. I'd like it in the middle, nice and neat and orderly. And then we're going to take these downstairs. And we're going to... Now, if we tried to put them right in here, if we weren't paying attention or weren't thinking or were otherwise trying to trick the system and put them in here, you notice it has a red background behind it. That's what it's saying is the recipe that you have encoded here is not valid. It will not operate. But there's a place that it will operate. We come over here and we put these 6 in, and now this network knows how to make iron plates, copper plates, tin plates, iron item casings, copper item casings, and tin item casings. If I come in here and say casings, and I want an iron casing, say I go crazy, I want to make 10 of them. What it does is it exports the necessary 5 iron plate into here. They will all get rolled into iron casings. If there weren't plates in the network, it would go ahead and make them out of iron bars. It might take a little while, but at least I no longer have to worry about coming here and auto-crafting them. So, I am going to do the same thing with bronze, and then I'm going to come over here and do the same thing in the extruding mode and the cutting mode, and then I'll get back to you. Hello again, folks. So, I've finished the process of getting all of these set up. Now, what I've come to the realization of is I don't need any machines in cutting mode because the extruding mode does the same thing, only slightly more efficiently for just about everything. Let me show you what I mean. Here is, in extruding mode, I can make HV cables, I can make tin cables, gold cables, and copper cables. In cutting mode, I make HV cables, gold cables, tin cables, and copper cables. The only thing that I can make is IC2 credits, and there is no use for an IC2 credit in the game. It's simply used as a transactional economy on some servers. So it's not useful here. So instead what I chose to do is this. I set up all of the plates, including the lead and gold, which I hadn't originally planned on. I have bronze, tin, gold, copper, lead, and iron. And over here, I set up all of the casings for the same things, so that if something has to make casings, it'll make the plates over here, it'll make the casings over here, it'll parallelize the process. And here I put all of my various cables, along with empty fuel rods, which I'll be using for making the nuclear reactor later, empty cells, and tin cans, which I don't actually foresee using at the moment, but you never know. Once I've already had the machine set up, there's no reason not to. Now, my ME network now knows how to make all of those things on request. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do, because I've already come to the realization that these 3 machines, if they're operating at full, are going to overload this generator, and I've got a bunch more machines to plug in, is to make myself another generator. Well, you saw me go through the process of making it. I don't really want to do that by hand. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to teach my ME network how to make a geothermal generator. Let's start with the very basics. It already knows how to make machine casings. It already knows how to make glass. It has plenty of it. It needs to know how to make empty cells. We already taught it that downstairs. So now it needs to know how to make this device. Now it needs to know how to make the generator. Well, let's put the generator here and encode it. And it needs batteries and iron furnaces. So, batteries. Batteries are these, and insulated tin cable. Well, it knows how to make all of these things except the tin cable. So, what we do is we go here and we tell it that's how you make a tin cable. Now, it knows how to make a tin cable. It knows how to form that into a battery, and it knows how to use that in the process of making a generator. But it doesn't know how to make an iron furnace yet. Well, here's the recipe for an iron furnace. Now, I need to check and find out if this doesn't know at the moment how to make a simple furnace. So let's go ahead and teach it how to make the simple furnace. There. Now, it should be all of the steps. We have furnaces, which are used to make an iron furnace. Am I correct? Furnace is used to make an iron furnace along with iron plate, which the system knows how to make. And then the iron furnace is combined with iron plate and a battery. It knows how to make the battery because it knows how to make the insulated tin cable and the battery. So it knows how to make the generator, which it knows how to combine and make a geothermal generator out. Now, once I put all of these things in here, I should be able to, and I'm going to do this from upstairs, and I'll show you why in just a moment. This, in fact, has been a little bit of an oversight of my design process. Because right here I have the crafting monitor, which will allow me to see what it is that the machines are doing. So now let me ask for a geothermal generator. I'm going to ask for 2 of them and tell it to begin. And I'm going to look down here and note the moment it doesn't have the battery. And so I assume that it is in the process of making the necessary items for the battery. And I could go downstairs and look, but I think I'm just going to be just a little patient and see what happens. That's about how long I would normally expect a rolling machine to take, and now it only needs 1 battery. Let me see. Let me go downstairs and make sure my machines are all doing what they're supposed to. I don't see anything running over here. That concerns me. Let's make sure that I did teach the machine how to make a battery. There is an RE battery, one insulated tin cable. It knows how to make that. I think I know what's wrong here, however. Let me try something. Let me remake this recipe. So if you need to wipe out a recipe, you shift right click and it wipes the pattern out. Now let's clear this and go back to the process of insulating a tin cable. So there are 2 ways to do this with 2 different types of rubber. And it's important to me that it use that type of rubber because that's the one that I have lots of in the network. So let's toss that in and go upstairs and see if that cleared the log jam. It's possible I had set it up with the wrong type of rubber being used. It's still asking for a battery. Perhaps it's making the tin cable right now. So let me watch and see if that's true. No, that doesn't seem to have solved our problem. Well, just a second, folks. I'm going to step off camera and see if I can troubleshoot what's going wrong here. Not sure what exactly went wrong, folks, but when I went ahead and cleared the job and had it do it again, it worked just fine. So I'm going to just try making 2 more. I don't see any strong reason not to. It gets hung up on the same step, but if I manually come in here, well, let's just show you what's going on right now. If I tell it to make 10 batteries, it goes ahead and makes them. If I tell it to craft 10 generic generators, it goes ahead and builds those too. But if you look in here, it currently says, in the process of trying to make 2 geothermal generators, it has missing the necessary parts, but it's made some. In fact, there are 2 generators in the network. So I'm going to have to troubleshoot some of my processes here, and let me do that, and I'll come back. Well, I straightened out the problem, folks. It was actually pretty easy to figure out once I started taking a look. The issue was this. When you go into a recipe like this, you'll notice that it's hopping back and forth between Industrial Craft 2 plates and Calclavia core plates. It looks like I had caused a problem in the process of making those by shift-clicking at the wrong point in time, and it was trying to find some Calclavia core plates when what it really needed was simple iron plates. So my problem is resolved. I have plenty of geothermal generators now, more than I expect to need. Now I have 4 copper cable, and I haven't yet taught the system how to make insulated copper cable, so I'm going to do that right now using that and that. I believe it's copper cable that I wish to use. Yep, definitely. Insulated copper cable is another common thing that I'm going to need, so there's no reason for me not to teach the system how to make it right now, especially since I'm about to use it. Now, I'm going to give it this back. I'm going to tell it to craft 20 of them. And it's going to be able to make 3 immediately, but it's going to have to send some of them downstairs to the rolling machines. So I'm going to go downstairs and verify that, yep, see, these machines are flickering and running. So they are producing the various things that I need. My metal former is busy making copper cable as fast as it reasonably can. Now, I've got 9 already. That's good. And I'm going to use them and these geothermal generators and some fluid ducts. And I'm going to make sure that this line of devices has plenty of power. Now, geothermal generators are only going to output 20 EU a tick a piece. And these devices can only accept 32 a piece, but they can accept as many packets of 32 EU as they need. Therefore, the easiest thing for me to do is to connect a bunch of generators to the line, ensuring that anything that needs power can get it. And since it's easy enough for me to access the fluid duct from above and the power line from here, I'm just going to go ahead and extend back into this wall a little bit and set myself up an array of generators. Just like so. Now, I have 7 of them, so there's room for 2. That's enough space for all of them to fit. Now, let's just place down the generators themselves. Definitely all receiving lava, just like I would like them to. That used up all of my generators, and then, finally, there's power. That guarantees that all of these machines out here have enough power to do what it is that they need to do. And I can extend this line as far as I need it to go, knowing that any devices that I attach to it will have a quite reasonable power supply available to them. So, there we are, folks. Now we have the first automation of our first devices on this process towards making ourselves our first nuclear generator. I know this all seems like relatively small things, but it is the small steps that are required to move ourselves forward before we can know that we have, when we walk in here and ask for, an advanced circuit, that this machinery can build it all, and we're going to need plenty of those advanced circuits in the process of building our nuclear power plant. So, I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you here next time.